Welcome to another informative video brought to you by Autocad. As panel design and termination get more and more complex, original equipment manufacturer, also known as OEM, have devised a perfect way of understanding this complexities. Please stay tuned. In a complex automated setup, machine vendor have devised a perfect way of understanding this complex termination at operator ends. Because, as more variant of this machine or process equipment are produced at a large scale, there is need for a documentation which will provide a comprehensive description of how the cable are terminated to the programmable logic control, also known as PLC. This document describes the cable terminations, voltage and current rating of all the interconnected device. So let's look at a typical examples. After the cable has been terminating to the appropriate terminal by the designer, the cable are tagged with alphanumeric inscriptions, also known as Tag Identifier. This Tag Identifier is linked to an electrical document that is known as electrical wiring diagram. The tag has some set of number and alphabet. This alphanumerical inscription will be used to locate the installation page in the electrical diagram. Let's look at a typical example. 5608M1 is the tag identifier number for a three-phase electrical motor. From the identifier we will open page 5608. From the opened page we can see that the electrical motor M1 is connected in star delta configuration. Again, let's look at another example, using the tag inscriptions 6905.3. As we can see, this one is a little bit complex than the previous one. The page is 6905, but from this tag identifier, it is telling us that this schematic can be found in the third column of the page. Let's look at how to read an electrical schematic. Electrical wiring document comes in different layout, and the layout can be due to the preference of the machine designer. The wiring standard used within may vary according to the country that the machine is been shipped to. Some documents are designed using different software. Example of the software that are commonly used is Autocad or Eplan. A typical electrical wiring diagram consists of hardware components, power sources, terminals and grounding. Electrical wiring diagram come with page that includes all the symbols that are used within the documents. This page is also known as legend and abbreviation page. To start with, let's look at the symbols that are found in this page. The first components we have on this page is our contactor, follows closely by it contacts. Another one is the electric motors, follows closely by a three-pole electrical breakers. Let's look at how to read electrical wiring diagram. Reading electrical diagram comes in multiple forms and is quite different from the traditional way of reading document, which is usually from left to right. In electrical wiring diagram, the reading can comes in any forms. For example, the source of this schematic is coming from the top of the schematic page downward. Again, the power configuration are stated in accordance to the country power ratings. So from the source, current will flow from the top half of the schematic to the breaker. At default, all components are usually in their de-energize state. And as such, this device is not an exception. From the breaker to the contactor before it was finally terminated to the three-phase motor. A recap of what we did. We look at the electric motor on the field. We glance at the tag identifier. We open the page in relation to the alphanumeric inscription on the tag identifier. Then the schematic was read from the source to the base. Let us look at another work examples. We will go to the field and look at another tag identifier. In this case we are looking at tag 6505.3. We will open the wiring document as per the look tag. And go to column 3. And we will read the electrical wiring diagram accordingly. As we can see in the third column, the device in question is a temperature sensor. The process equipment stop on, temperature alarm feedback error. Firstly we will look at the schematic and identify all the wire termination going to the sensor. As we can see, this sensor is a 3-wire sensor. We will check the voltage termination at the module for authentication. In a situation where there is a DC voltage available within the module, then there is need to check the voltage at the sensor side. Once a volt is obtained, we will manually trigger the sensor and check the feedback. The feedback cable is not sending feedback to the module. With this, we have narrowed down the problem. We will now replace the faulty cable with a new set of cable. In summary, electrical wiring diagram help to communicate the mind of the machine designer to the operators. Because the machine designer cannot be at multiple places at the same time. These documents are used to troubleshooting electrical and sometimes mechanical breakdown. Apart from it used during breakdown troubleshooting. These documents can also be used to get the components ratings of all the devices used in the installation. Finally, the part code of the devices used in this installation can easily be gotten. Hope you have learned a lot today. See you in the next series.